What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here. I'm back with another video. The road to WrestleMania 38 continues as the WWE now travels to the Jeddah Superdome in Saudi Arabia for this year's Elimination Chamber. Join us now as we recap the show and look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. We start off with the pre-show as Rey Mysterio, who's with Dominic, takes on The Miz. The Miz attacks Rey while Mysterio is acknowledging the fans. Miz gets the early advantage, but Mysterio quickly rebounds as Dominic cheers him on. Dominic then gets some cheap shots in on The Miz behind the referee's back, leading to the A-lister trying to take things out on Papa Rey. It's an exercise in frustration as Rey ducks and dodges Miz, dishing out the punishment. Miz takes a page from Eddie Guerrero's playbook, tricking the referee into thinking Dominic hit him with the chair. Miz blindsides Rey and goes for the skull-crushing finale, only for Rey to counter into a roll-up and win the match. The Miz attacks Rey after the match, but Dominic runs in for the save. It's double 619 on The Miz, and Dominic follows up with a frog splash. Mysterio was really over in Saudi Arabia, by the way. Now we move on to the main show, as the show opens up with the Universal Championship match between champion Roman Reigns taking on Bill Goldberg. Surprisingly, a collar and elbow tie-up as both men try to power their way to dominance. Things aren't going Reigns' way, so he resorts to fisticuffs before throwing Goldberg out of the ring. Reigns takes Goldberg in the ring and goes to punish him, bouncing him off the ropes only for Reigns to eat a spear. Goldberg goes for the jackhammer, but Reigns counters, hitting a rock bottom. Superman punch by Roman Reigns, and he goes for the spear only for Goldberg to beat him to the punch. Goldberg then goes for the jackhammer, but Reigns counters into the guillotine. Goldberg tries to power out his way, but he fades fast, and despite reaching the ropes, the referee doesn't demand a break. Goldberg is out and Roman Reigns retains. Next up is the Women's Elimination Chamber match to determine the #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship. As Bianca Belair, DOUDROP, RHEA Ripley, Nikki A.S.H, Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss all do battle in the chamber. And Nikki A.S.H and Liv Morgan to start things off. DOUDROP enters at number 3 as Nikki offers her a hand in friendship, only for DOUDROP to headbutt her. DOUDROP takes control, using her power to throw Nikki and Liv around, but RHEA Ripley enters as number 4 as Nikki A.S.H looks to escape the chamber. DOUDROP attacks RHEA, but not for long as RHEA chases Nikki, who scales the chamber. Both women climb the chamber as RHEA knocks her off, sending Nikki onto Liv Morgan. RHEA hits the Riptide and covers Nikki for the elimination. Alexa Bliss then enters at number 5 and cleans house, but Liv Morgan stops her momentum. It's a free-for-all as all 4 women battle. DOUDROP then goes to the top rope, but Liv Morgan catches her with a sunset powerbomb, pinning and eliminating DOUDROP. Unfortunately, Morgan appears to have injured her knee performing the sunset powerbomb. Ripley and Bianca Belair then look to square off, but decide to team up and take Morgan and Bliss out. It's a double vertical suplex on Morgan and Bliss as Ripley slaps Belair. It's on. A twisted Bliss on Morgan as Alexa covers her for the elimination. Ripley is out and it's now down to Bliss and Belair. Bliss goes for the top rope twisted Bliss, but Belair exits the ring. Bliss then goes for a DDT, but Belair counters with an awesome handspring. There's a series of roll-ups and near falls, but Bliss goes for the Sister Abigail, but Belair counters, hitting the KOD and covering Bliss for the win and getting the chance to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Next up, Ronda Rousey and Naomi take on Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville, and Rousey must wrestle with one arm tied behind her back. And Rousey starts off against Sonya, and Sonya takes her off her arm sling, revealing her arm is healed. Rousey beats down Deville and demands Charlotte. The Queen tags in, only to tag out immediately. There's a tag to Naomi, who can't wait to get her hands on the nemesis Deville, and a tag to Rousey, who logs on the armbar on Deville until Charlotte blindsides her. Flair then targets Rousey's arm. The heels double team Ronda in the corner, and Rousey makes the hot tag as Naomi cleans house. The heels do their best to stymie Naomi, but she tags in Ronda, who goes after Deville, locking in the armbar and daring Flair to come in and break things up. Flair stands there as Deville taps out, with Ronda and Naomi winning the match. Next up, it's a Falls Count Anywhere match as Madcap, who's with Happy Corbin, takes on Drew McIntyre. Happy Corbin attacks McIntyre, and since the match is no DQ, the referee can't stop him. Drew quickly recovers, clotheslining Moss out of the ring, but Corbin continues attacking Drew, but it only seems to anger the Scottish Warrior, who brutalizes Moss. Chair shot by Corbin finally slows McIntyre down, but not for long. There's a superplex on Moss, but Madcap kicks out. And then McIntyre swings Madcap Moss, and he lands right on his head, spiking him. That looked like a horrible botch, and we really hope that Madcap Moss is okay. Corbin did an awesome thing and actually managed to get him out of the ring so that Madcap could recover. Absolutely great job by Corbin. Corbin tries to interfere again, but McIntyre grabs Angela, swinging the sword at Happy Corbin. Corbin protests, but there's nothing the referee can do. Drew hits the Claymore on Moss as Drew holds the sword for the pin and the victory. And The Miz is interviewed about tonight's loss, and The Miz said he had to wrestle a handicap match thanks to Dominic's interference. The Miz says he's going to make a phone call and get himself a tag partner, one as incredible and handsome as he is. We wonder who that could be. Our guess is Logan Paul. Next up, the Raw Women's Championship match as champion Becky Lynch takes on Lita. Lita starts off strong, but Lynch takes control, going after her opponent's surgically repaired neck. After 2 Black Exploders, Lita counters with a DDT. Both women head to Fist City. There's a high cross body block and cover by Lita, but Big Time Bex kicks out. Lita then goes for a Twist of Fate, but Lynch counters, going for the disarmer. Lita manages to stop her, but Lynch goes for the pin using the ropes for leverage, but the referee manages to see it. Lita then goes for the moonsault, but Lita gets out of the way. There's a Twist of Fate as Lita climbs to the top rope, moonsault and a cover, but Lynch kicks out. Lita then goes after Lynch, but the champion counters, hitting the manhandle slam, covering her, and it's all over for Lita as Becky Lynch retains. Next up is a SmackDown Tag Team match, or whatever that was, as the Raiders make their way down to the ring only to be ambushed by the tag team champions and laid out, resulting in the match being cancelled. The result is a no contest. And finally, it's the main event as the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship as champion Bobby Lashley, who's with MVP, takes on AJ Styles, Riddle, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. As Seth freaking Rollins and Austin Theory start the match out, it's a back and forth between the two as things take an odd turn when Rollins buckle bombs Theory into Lashley's pod, striking Lashley and knocking him senseless. Riddle is then the third man into the match and he goes after Rollins and Theory. As medical personnel attend to Bobby Lashley, who may be out of the bout. Styles then enters the match as he fights with Rollins, Theory and Riddle. It's a back and forth as Riddle gains control and looks to be setting up his opponents for the RKO. The announcers then reveal that Bobby Lashley is out of the match due to concussion protocol. The timer goes off and Lashley is supposed to enter the match, but since he's out, Lesnar will just have to wait. Well, the Beast waits for no one and kicks his way out of the pod and cuts a path of destruction as he delivers F5 after F5, pinning Seth Rollins, followed by Riddle and then AJ Styles. Theory is then left standing as Lesnar stares at him. The Theory tries to escape the chamber but is trapped. Theory then surprises Lesnar with a low blow followed by a DDT, but Lesnar kicks out. The Theory climbs to the top of the chamber, but Lesnar's in pursuit, taking him down to the top of the pod and F5ing him off the pod. There's a cover by Lesnar, and Lesnar is the new WWE Champion. Well, that was a quick review of Elimination Chamber. What about the good, the bad, and the downright ugly? As always, we start off with the good as number 1, a sizzling start. The Elimination Chamber got off to a sizzling start with Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Hall of Famer Goldberg in a Battle of the Bulls. The match was an explosive encounter as both men brawled their way to what looked like might be a win by Goldberg, only for Reigns to lock in the guillotine. Although the match was only 6 minutes, it pumped the fans up and continued the Universal Champion's dominant reign. The referee's puzzling decision not to have Reigns break the guillotine choke when Goldberg reached the ropes had fans talking, but it's likely the WWE won't explain it. We got a Botch's video that might explain a little bit though. Number 2, a captivating chamber match. The Women's Elimination Chamber match was solid with all 6 women looking good. Well, except for NIKKI ASH, who as fans likely expected didn't last long. Everyone had their spot and the showdown between Ripley and Bianca Belair was a good teaser of what fans might see later in 2022. The match featured some excellent spots including DOUDROP throwing her opponents like rag dolls and Bianca Belair countering an Alexa Bliss DDT with a captivating cartwheel. Number 3, a clever touch. The Women's Chamber match featured a brilliant moment when Alexa Bliss entered her pod, complete with a swing in it. Little details like this are a great way to impress the fans and raise the question whether Bliss is truly cured of her demon doll persona. And number 4, an electric crowd. The fans in the Superdome were on fire tonight as it got behind the WWE superstars in every match, adding to the excitement of every match. The crowd's energy fueled the show, making for quite the event even during some odd moments. Whether it's in an arena or a stadium, this is the kind of audience that can take a wrestling show to the next level. That was a good What About the Bad as number 1, Moss's music. Tonight's Madcap Moss vs McIntyre was dull enough, but what was that hideous sound? Oh wait, that was Madcap Moss's entrance music. A reminder of how much the WWE's theme music has deteriorated since the loss of longtime WWE music maven Jim Johnston. While we know that every entrance song isn't going to be a classic, this one definitely belongs in the rubbish bin. And number 2, Now You See It. Tonight's Elimination Chamber had some fantastic moments, but nothing quite like the WTF moment that was supposed to be the Viking Raiders vs USO match, which turned out into a dud after the USOs jumped the challengers. Apparently, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, the match was planned this way, it wasn't done to cut time. I'm just wondering why they paid all 4 members to come out to Saudi Arabia just to do that. But that was bad. What about the downright ugly, as an ugly finish? Now we understand that WWE wants to hype Lesnar vs Reigns as the greatest match of all time, but did it need to sacrifice AJ Styles, Seth Rollins and Riddle to do so? The WWE hasn't messed up an Elimination Chamber match this badly since the 2020 Women's Elimination Chamber, where Shayna Baszler embarrassed all 5 of our opponents before winning. The WWE did protect WWE Champion Bobby Lashley by having him taken out of the match with a wild kayfabe injury, but why bury the aforementioned wrestlers, especially if the WWE plans on having Lesnar lose to Reigns? We repeatedly discussed the folly of booking a champion versus champion bout at Mania, but Vince McMahon's obsession with booking Roman Reigns as this decade's Brock Lesnar shows no sign of ending. Regrettably, the insane booking is going to end up gutting the WWE's existing main eventers and rising stars, leaving Roman Reigns with no one to defeat. I tell you, to hell with Roman Reigns versus Lesnar at Mania, just give me AJ Styles versus Edge, that's all I want. What did you guys think of Elimination Chamber tonight? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.